There's so many things I'd love to talk to you about, and
Go on, don't be shy.
don't be shy. Do you hate certain members of the press for the way you were treated after your wife's murder?
Well, yes, to be honest, I do, but I wouldn't call it a hatred now. You see, somehow evolved to just indifference, and I simply don't read it and try to avoid it.
Yeah. You didn't. I just wondered, is there any way, I don't know what you think people deserve to know, or how much business people have knowing about a thing like what's called the Sharon Tate case, although there were a lot of other victims. Is there anything good that has been written about it? I know this sounds silly, but I mean, is there a book, or is there anything that you would recommend for people who wanted?
Well, I just don't read. I'm sorry. I don't read for my own good.
Yeah.
And it's possible. It would be silly of me to say that absolutely everything written by the press is obnoxious. And this is impossible.
The press is too broad a word.
I mean, I'm philosophically oriented this way, that I know that there are always mutants, you know? Mm-hmm. The principle of life and evolution, so there must be some flux. But in general, I despise the press tremendously for its inaccuracy, for its irresponsibility, and for its often even deliberate cruelty, and all this, it's for lucrative purposes.
It's almost impossible to run into anyone in the movie community who doesn't claim to have some inside knowledge of the event. You know what I mean?
No.
Anytime the subject comes up out there, people claim to have, they know something that never came out in the papers, and it's never the same thing, it's always something else.
Oh yeah, well...
There's the way people descend on an event like that is sort of strange.
Well, this is part of human nature. I mean, I was accused of being one of the accomplices, you know.
Yeah.
By even people who I thought were willing to. But it was like a great psychological test, like great psychoanalysis. I could see that everybody saw it from his angle, you know, his point of view, and was looking for the culprits in the area which would be somehow related to the way he was thinking. You know what I mean? I don't want to be more specific about it.
Okay, yeah, I think I do. Did it seem at the time you might never work again? Did it just seem that you could never go into public again?
Yeah, there was it lasted for a very long time. It lasted for a good 8 months, I would think. And then when I started working again, I didn't want to do anything like this show, for example, or any interviews. Somehow, under the pressure of the people who gave the money for the film and took a great risk, because it cost several $1 million, $3 million. Let's be specific. For their sake, I thought I have to do it, and I'm doing these things. But I would rather feel better if I did not have to talk and to be part of the public life. I was desiring it when I was young, you know, when I was in a film school and later. I mean, it was appealing to me. I wanted
celebrity
it.
part of it?
Yeah, I wanted it. I wanted it very much. It was part of this history of cinema, which I learned, you know, part of Hollywood. It was different. Hey, can I take this off, or would it be bad taste?
Certainly. No, even if it is, you can.
Yeah. How about my trousers?
No, that would be dubious taste. Yeah. But I just wondered if at a time like that you just felt, I could never go back to work, I can never...
Yeah, well, you see, right after that, everybody was saying, go back to work. And I was in the middle of a film. I mean, not of shooting, but right in the middle of preparation of a film called The Day of the Dolphin. And everybody was saying, work, that's the best medicine. And I remember talking to Stanley Kubrick on the telephone. He was the only person who said, I'm sure everybody tells you go to work. I said, that's right. He says, I know you can't work. Why don't you just go away? You know, do some sports or something, and there will be a moment where you feel like getting out of the room. Incredible, I remember that.
Kubrick said, don't go to work right now.
That's right. He says,
yeah, it's interesting.
He says there will be a moment when you will, you know, he's very interested in all us, in everything, like I am, by the way. And he was, we spent endless hours talking. I could see that he was trying to get my feelings, and I don't blame him for it. You know, it's a part of being a film director, etc.
Yeah.
But he's a very wise man also. There's time for message.
How do you know this? You didn't even look up.
No.
You saw the light go on. Before we do it, I was just going to say, I thought you gave a very good answer when people said, how on earth could you do a bloody drama like Macbeth after what you went through? But you pointed out that anything you did, they would have said was absurd. I mean, if you'd done a comedy, they'd have said, how could he do a comedy after all that? And,
it's precisely, that's how everything is related to your life, and that's how people see it. And people see this film more bloody than it really is. I mean, it's much less violent than any average film that you see on the screen now. Well, not average, but then the violent films, so-called violent films, much less. It's as much as we can expect from Macbeth. That's about all.
Really anxious to see it. I will one of these days, too.
It's right there.
It's nearby, is it?
Yeah, Playboy Theatre.
Okay, Playboy Theatre. Our local stations do have a message, then we'll be back.